So it's the end of the year. That means we're in the midst of all these best of lists as far as books goes. Now, I love these lists and I love pouring through them to see exactly which books that I've read, but man, this year I suck. I mean, I know I can't read all the books on the list. There's only so many books I can consume in a year, but to not even recognize some of these books, I mean, am I listening to the wrong podcasts, consuming the wrong media? Am I in the wrong part of BookTube? Does Oprah have a tiny letter that I don't even know about? I know, you're going to tell me that you don't listen to the hype and you simply read whatever it is that you want to read. I don't know, BookTube. I think you've really let me down this year. Anyway, I talked already about how I didn't recognize a lot of the finalists for the Giller Prize. And then I look at the New York Times top 10, and I've read only Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me. Now, I've heard of Elena Ferrante, having read My Brilliant Friend, and I've heard the hype surrounding H is for Hawk, but The Door and The Outline? I mean, where did these books come from? Now, I'm seeing A Manual for Cleaning Women and The Sellout and a lot of other lists. I've actually managed to pick up The Sellout, and I've been enjoying it immensely so far. The Publisher's Weekly list has The Invention of Nature, Black Earth, Imperium, Beauties of Wound, Crow Fair. I've never even heard of these books. I'm seeing delicious foods in a lot of other lists as well, and how can I not pick up a book where one of the main narrators is crack cocaine? So that gets added to the TBR immediately. Then there's the Amazon Top 20. At last, a list of books that I somewhat recognize. At least I've heard the hype surrounding Fates and Furies, Sympathizer, Ghetto Side, Franzen's Purity, The Nightingale. I mean, but still, out of nowhere is Mrs. Engels and the Oregon Trail, which I've never even heard of. Regardless, kudos to these editorial choices that eschew the more obvious picks in favor of introducing me to some new talent and some great books. My TBR list has grown substantially, and I'm looking forward to a lot of the reads over the Christmas holidays. And then we go over to Goodreads, which democratizes the entire process, and it pushes out the voting to you, the reader, to determine what are the best books for 2015. Frankly, you, the reader, kind of suck. Far be it from me to disparage you, the reader, and to criticize your choices. But when you look at the list, you find that the winners are those that simply got read the most. I mean, I have a hard time believing that Go Set a Watchman sets the bar for the best in fiction for 2015. But if you take a look at the stats, it garnered 71,000 reviews. And I mean, the next closest managed only 20,000. In a mystery and thriller, Girl on the Train garnered 400,000 reviews. That's greater than all the reviews for all the remaining books in the category combined. Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari killed in nonfiction with 26,000 reviews that dwarfed the number of views that any of the other nonfiction books had even managed. Though interesting, Humans of New York posted a very strong second place with 15,000 votes, despite only having 2,000 reviews. And in memoir and autobiography, Connor Frenta's A Work in Progress came in first place. It got 15,000 votes despite a meager 6,000 reviews, although as a YouTube celebrity, I'm sure he draws a lot of subscribers in for votes as well. And don't tell me that All the Bright Places wins for Best YA of the Year. I mean, I like YA, and I thought that was overly melodramatic and sappy. Alright, so if you love the best of lists as much as I do, you need to do yourself a favor and go check out the Large Hearted Boy blog. There's a link below in the comments. Over at Large Hearted Boy, he actually collects all the best of lists from everywhere online. So you get a listing of all the traditional lists from Amazon and Publishers Weekly, the CBC, The Guardian, Washington Post, etc. But he also manages to collect some more oblique off-the-wall lists, including top lists for confident readers, or cat lovers, black women authors, or LGBTQ Christian writers. So anyway, there's a whole treasure trove of books out there for you to read, and I'm sure you'll be able to find your next favorite read in some of these best of lists, or at least build that TBR pile for the winter holidays. I hope you've had an awesome year of reading in 2015, and good luck for 2016.